to Musical Minutes. I'm Hans Manship, and I want to introduce you to this very special instrument made out of glass. It's called a glass harmonica, and it was invented by someone you know.
The glass harmonica is part of the glass family of musical instruments, including musical goblets, glass harps, and the modern day verrophone. But we'll focus on the most famous one, the glass harmonica. It was invented by Benjamin Franklin, who was known not only as a founding father, but also as an inventor, with such creations as the lightning rod, bifocal glasses, the Franklin stove, and swim fins. By the way, he refused to patent his inventions because he believed they should benefit society freely. But let's go back to the beginning. The earliest glass instruments, also known as crystallophones, were likely developed around the 14th century in Asia. These instruments were made from glass and used friction to produce sound. Wine glasses filled with water to varying amounts and played by running a wet finger along the rim became popular in 1741. The sound was ethereal, pure, and surprisingly loud in quiet rooms. I should know. I tried it out in my college library with a goblet. The sound permeated the room and was hard to locate the source, much to my advantage. Well, Ben Franklin revolutionized the concept in 1761. He named it the glass harmonica, referring to the harmonic sounds it produced. Instead of separate goblets, he mounted nested glass bowls on a horizon spindle. A foot treadle rotated the bowls. It became extremely popular. Mozart, Beethoven, and Strauss wrote for it. Marie Antoinette took lessons on it. Thomas Jefferson claimed it was the greatest gift to the music world of his century. But here's the mysterious downfall. Franklin's original harmonicas used lead glass bowls and paint to color the bowls, producing lead poisoning. As a result, some performers developed tremors, numbness, fatigue, and neurological symptoms. Doctors of the time didn't understand lead toxicity, so they blamed the sound instead of the lead material. People believed the harmonica caused madness, hysteria, and nervous disorders. Doctors in the late 1700s and early 1800s warned that the harmonica's ethereal, penetrating tones could unbalance the nerves, cause hallucinations, and drive players insane. The harmonica's downfall wasn't due to one cause, it was a perfect storm: mental, medical, spiritual, and social fears, plus the material danger of lead exposure and cultural shifts. Pianos were becoming dominant. By the mid 1800s, the instrument was considered unhealthy, unholy, and unfashionable, and production nearly stopped until the 20th century revival. Contemporary composers have used it in film scores, ambient music, and avant garde ensembles. Film and TV appearances of the glass harmonica include The Hunger Games, the Harry Potter series, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and The Simpsons. The verrophone was introduced in the 20th century. Cylindrical glass tubes were played with wet fingers or mallets. It produced more projection volume than goblets. A German born scientific glassblower who immigrated to the U.S. named Gerhard Finkenbeiner, how's that for a name, single handedly revived Ben Franklin's glass harmonica in the 1980s. Gerhardt was not just a craftsman, he was a physicist minded artisan. His understanding of quartz, resonance, and rotational dynamics allowed him to recreate Franklin's 1761 invention with modern precision. Gerhardt's instruments became the gold standard for professional glass harmonica players worldwide. They're made from pure fused quartz crystal, which offers high tensile strength, greater pitch stability, superior clarity of tone, and no lead content, so no one gets sick from lead poisoning. There's a well-known video of Gerhardt demonstrating harmonica making to Alan Alda on the PBS show Scientific American Frontiers. I got to know Gerhardt in 1992. I wanted to buy a smaller travel version since I couldn't afford $8,000 for a new one. He told me in his thick German accent he loved the instrument and would do anything he could to get any variation into the hands of anyone who would showcase them to the world. So he sent me the basic parts and I put it together, adding a foot treadle frame and stand from an old sewing machine and a protective cover. His fee was a fraction of the cost. He was a kind and impressive man. In 1999, he disappeared in his small private plane and was never found. After his tragic death, his legacy continued, and his glass harmonicas are still manufactured to this day. His original instruments are now rare, collectible, and used by top harmonica players worldwide. Almost every modern appearance in film and TV traces back to Gerhard Finkenbeiner's quartz harmonicas or the players using them.
Well, it's time to hear what this unique glass instrument sounds like, once called the voice of the angels. Remember, this travel size is 1/3 the size of a full glass harmonica. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Musical Minutes featuring the glass harmonica. I'm Hans Manship, and may God richly bless you as you pursue His creation of music and the instruments mankind has created for enjoyment.